So here guys, maybe we'll need make a polygroup here. So this question will get a landmark here. So it's not my objective, but I will test it if it will okay or not. So let me press Ctrl W here and same thing here. Let me test it. Okay, Ctrl W. Ctrl W again, just to keep make a other polygroup different color. I don't like to use the same colors. So let me go to geometry, create PG, press Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D. And here we have this strong landmark here. I confess I don't like, so let me press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, and I will keep this same part here. So now we need to think about how we're gonna make it. So let me create PG and I will press Ctrl D and we have this problem here. 6. So here let me make different. Let me press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. I'm gonna press Alt R and try to sustain loop here. Let me just test if it will works. Let me go to do nothing. I select an edge, insert, and let me try to bring a loop here maybe. But well, let me test it. Create PG. Yes, works a little better. So now let me go to clay polish, press Ctrl Z and soft I will put 30 to test. It's okay. But of course I need to on this way too. And here I can use high polish, just let me test a little bit. It's not perfectly, but well, will works. So let me press Ctrl Z, 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 Ctrl Z. It's okay, and now I will add a loop here too. And what I can try to do is slide it. Just let me test if it works or not. I can slide it to reduce the strong landmark here, and use crease PG. Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D. Well, will not make sense. So let me press Ctrl Z. I will need to keep it in this position. So let me add this edge more or less here, not too close. So let me use crease PG again. Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D. 6. So it's okay. And now clay polish. Let me test. I will put 100. It's okay, has worked. And now I will try to fix this part with high polish here. Just try to reduce a little bit this point. A little bit. I can try to smooth a little bit too. It's not perfectly, but it's okay, has worked. And here the same thing. Yes, let me try to use more strong. It's okay, and here the same thing. Let me test. Can smooth a little bit the border here, and same thing here. The middle here a little bit too. Now I can go in subtool. I will duplicate it to keep a copy, rename as a copy. No, I will rename it to detail. And this one I will rename, let me go here, and I will press, well, we'll keep it, and I will rename it to original. And turn off, select my copy here, and delete the subtools to apply the mirror. Let me test if I can use the plugin, the subtool master mirror X axis well has worked and keep the subdivisions. So it's so good. Press X here. And it's okay, then press C, and it's okay, guys. We have this new design. Maybe this part we could try to bring more in front if you want, but I confess it's okay for me. It's cool. It's cool. Let me go to skin shading. It's nice. Let me pick this color here. It's okay. It's working. If we want, we can apply this material, the metal. I think it's not necessary, but I will apply it just to keep this part with a the metal aspect. So now I can go to skin shading and we have this aspect here. Very, very cool. So it's okay, guys. I can save it. 76. And let me pick this color here because the knee armor it's with a gold color. So now it's okay. And here we need just to go to this part of the cloth and this part to finish the cloth elements. Of course, we can put some little details here. And just almost there finishing this structure to go to the head and the hair. So how you can see, these characters, this style of characters take time, and it's not difficult, but you need make part by part, and these little parts take time. So is it, guys, and see you in the next video. Hey guys, so continuing here our project, I'm using this metal material here. So we was using the skin shade, and now we're gonna use this metal for this first moment because I have these highlights here, and for example in the armor here you can see this part here with highlight, and here when I am using the skin shading we have a low information of this highlight. Of course, remember the brush, it's not to use as a rendering, for example, or something like that. It's more to sculpt all the things and take a simple presentation, and you need make the other parts, or for example open the UV, make the poly paint here and render it in Arnold or Marmoset 2 bag, something like that. So ZBrush, it's not the best software to render this character like that. For example, when you are sculpting something like organic head or something like that, it's okay. But for characters that you have clothes and armor and all these things, for me, of course, it's not the best way to do that, the render presentation. So now we're gonna try to fix these elements here. I think we can make this part here. Let me check it here. I think we can use this part here. I don't know, I can make I can duplicate that and invert it and press Ctrl W. No, it's not necessary. Let him press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, and I will duplicate that here by the subtools. It's okay. Now I can deal this one, deal hidden. Let me open the Karnak. Of course, we need to use the Karnak for you to see the hotkeys. So Karnak hits activate, and let me move this guy here, and I will try to reuse this part. So how is that possible? Try to reuse the elements that you have created. Guys, keep in your mind when you are working in a studio for a big project, 99% you're gonna use base meshes or ready meshes. So reuse it. Don't be that guy that say I am a god. It's not necessary reuse meshes. I can create all from a scratch, from a sphere. It's not about that. It's not about how I know about the sculptor or the modeling or something like that. It's more to optimize time, and because the budget, of course, too, and the deadline is it. So use base mesh, please keep it in your mind. So here I will try to bring this visual here. Let me press C to pick this color, and I will turn off the color. And now I think this part here, let me rotate and I will try to fit it. So let me turn off the perspective, and more or less on this way here. Let me check more or less on this way. Let me scale it, maybe can scale not too much this part too. Let me check, just let me see on this way. I think I can move it in front a little bit, maybe, and I rotate it, of course, here more or less. Press P to perspective. Well. Or let me try to pose it in a different formation here. Let me check. I think it's okay here. Maybe more in front or not. Let me try to put in front a little bit. I rotate. Let me check. Yeah, I think not. Let me try to move it back more or less on this way, make more sense here. Well. Rotate to this part to follow the flow. And here, maybe this guy here we can change the proportion. So let me turn off the perspective. Let me test. So let me see here. If I want, I can create a landmark in the middle. Let me see here. I will scale a little bit it. Let me check here. Let me see it. So I'm trying to find a proportion. It's not a exactly proportion, but something that makes sense. I confess I'm not enjoy it. I prefer more thin. So I will keep on this way. And let me select this part here. So this is the way, guys. We're always trying to increase the project and try to find something that makes sense. Let me see here, this part, turn off the perspective. Let me move the hair here a little bit. And well, I will move it in front a little bit. Let me see it. More or less here. This part. It's okay, of course, you need to fix this part here. Let me see. Perspective, it's okay. I can use the Z plugin, Subtool Master, Mirror. Let me see here, Mirror and X, it's okay. Let me see here. It's done. We have, it's kinda a little detail here. It's something like that. Let me, but minor. Let me think. I will put, let me think here. Let me see the draw 28. And let me check here. It's okay. I will try to copy this part. Let me duplicate that. Hide this element. Do hiding. Let me turn off the X symmetry. And here I will try to bring this part. Let me press C and turn off the color here, the pencil, and I will fill, I'm gonna fill object here. Let me pick the color again. And I will try to find something that makes sense here. Just a test, guys. I press Shift D. Oh, geometry, reconstruct, deal higher. It's not necessary too much polygons here because it's a little detail, so it's not necessary. Let me put here more or less. Let me check, maybe something like that, just to have an overall idea. Let me see, I will scale a little bit. Let me scale more. Let me check, I will move down a little bit. And I can use Z plugin, mirror again, X symmetry. And let me go to skin shading. Let me move down a little bit more. Yes, I have enjoyed it. And here, guys, basically, let me save. Always saving the project, guys. Please, come on. 77. Let me wait to save the project. It's okay. And here, this part, I think this line, it's too marked. Here, I think if I smooth it a little bit, just pressing shift and try to smooth a little bit will be a better visual, make more sense. So how you can see, look that. Well, maybe too much. Oh, of course, if I use the clay polish too, can be a good strategy. Let me go to the metal, let me press Ctrl Z, and I will try to use the clay polish and smooth 50. And here it's a time to test, so it's okay. I need more Dynamesh, more subdivisions here, so let me use 0. Okay, so I will use this smooth here, but I don't want too much smooth. Let me check here. Something like that. Let me try to increase this part to simulate the breast here. I want a volume here. So let me see. You can see reference if you want. But here, let me try to create a landmark. I want a landmark here. I move in front a little bit. Let me see here. I don't know. I think I will apply the Dynamesh here. The Dynamesh. Here I think I need volume a little bit to simulate the boobs. Let me see, let me smooth a little bit to create this flow here. So it's better. Let me go to skin shade. And if I wanna now, I can use the dump standard and try to create a landmark here. And try to smooth a little bit. Or I can use the high polish to have an overall idea. It's a little better. And be very subtle here. Let me load the old version just to compare it. This curve is extremely important, so let me check. You can see this part here, it's cool, but well, I will try to bring more volume here. So let me press 0 to dump standard, and I will try to bring this curve here. Let me use the pinch, maybe the pinch will mark not too much. So here it's better. How you can see we have this landmark, but not too strong. Well, or maybe I can try to move it. Move up a little bit. Let me check. So these little details are extremely important. So it's better. So now what I'm gonna do, guys, it's increase the poly count here. So look at this division. We have this curve at the teeth and here the teeth. So this landmark, it's kinda, I know I have volume here, so makes sense. Of course, here we had something more flat, just a line. It's not so good. So look that. These little details make the difference. So make more sense. And I will try to bring then this part more down a little bit when I use this remesher here. So very, very calmly and work with paint. This moment when we are in the, it's going to the final part of the character. We don't need, we can't make very fast the things. For example, I want to finish it and I need to finish it and make just the landmarks. And no, be patient and try to bring the silhouette, try to bring the good visual here, look for reference, work very calmly. The final part of the project, it's extremely important because you need work calmly. Usually the professionals, the students try to work very quickly, very fast in the final parts of the project because they want to finish it. And this is not the best way. The best way it's inverse it. It's work very calmly in the final, in the retouch, in the post-production. Very, very calmly, okay? So let me go to basic material here. I can use. It's okay. Let me save again. I have this problem. I am always saving. And is it, guys, for this moment? Let me make a thing here. I will duplicate this part and rename it as a copy and hide this object. And I will keep this one. And now I will apply the Dynamesh. Let me see my geometry, so do lower. And Dynamesh, it's too low. Let me put something like 128. Maybe it works. So we're gonna try to work with this Dynamesh. So what is my idea here? It's try to reorganize all the elements, sculpt and refine some parts. Then we're gonna use Zero Mesher again and refine it to have to get a good topology. So the same thing here. I am using Dynamesh, so I will try to sculpt out the final version. Then I gonna use Zero Mesher for a low resolution. So I will try to bring the silhouette and increase it with geometry. So this is my workflow for this situation. And we have this part here, guys. Let me see here. This part here, we need to fix this element here. So more or less on this part. So basically, when we finish the cloth here, it's done. Because other parts, it's all easy. For example, this part, it's use Zero Mesh, try to fit, make some adjustments to the hand, and of course, you need to sculpt the head and the hair. To the head, we're gonna use a tool here from ZBrush to start the head and to simulate a professional studio workflow. And of course, the hair we're gonna need bake mesh by mesh. So is it, guys? Let me come back to ski shading here. Very cool. And see you guys in the next video, where we're gonna continue focusing this part here to finish it, and with it finished, we can go to the next phase, next steps. So see you guys in the next video. Work here very calmly, these little details. We're gonna try to find some flows here that make sense to the cloth. You can use reference from your own clothes. Try to get from internet or look for other 3D models. This part here is not absolutely. So we can use examples, for example, like, let me see here some folds in Google. So you can search for cloth folds. And basically we have this visual, it's always like a triangle and triangle. So it's something like on this way. And here it's the same thing, triangles. And you can use something like that to reference. Of course, we are working with cartoon style set. So try to not put a lot of folds. Try to use high polish to keep it more clean. So here we have this visual. It's the same thing. For example, here to this part here, it's very, very similar. For example, let me show you triangle. Of course, we need to refine that, but it's something like that. How you can see triangle. So other thing you can try to make an experience, it's cockdented fold. Not can. So well, I don't know why I was searching by cockdented can, but well, here you can see, of course, it's a 3D model, but something like the folds, the same thing. It's a good experience. I have learned about it, folds from smashing a Coke. So let me see here. You can make this experience. It's very, very, very good. Let me see here. It's something like that. It's kind of Z. Then you can connect it. So this part here, these lines, for example, it's very cool. It's extremely important you make these studies. It's very, very cool. I recommend you buy some Coke, for example, or other, and try to smash it and see the reference. It's very interesting. But well, guys, here it's cool, this part here. So you're gonna see what? Triangle, triangle, and triangle. One triangle, two triangles. It's amazing. So is it, guys. In the next video, gonna continue. See you in the next video. So continuing here, guys, how you can see in the concept, for example, we don't have a lot of folds, a lot of directions here. So it's very, very clean. So we need to try to bring something like that. Of course, the concept, it's not the best, for example, reference for this situation, because we don't have enough information. For example, here we basically have these volumes. For example, in this situation here, I have these volumes here, volume here, and this part. So we need to translate all this interpretation to here. So basically it's something like volume here and volume here. It's okay. And these lines, this direction, so this shape. So from it we need to try to bring something that makes sense. Let me try to turn off the hair visualization just to try to get a better background cut. So let me see here. I am using the Dynamesh 128. Of course, it's for my character, remember that. Maybe for your character it's different. So let me, of course, auto group will not work. So let me turn off perspective and try to make a mask here to try to draw this part. Let me see here if I need. Let me check this adaptation here. It's something on this way, but here we have a different distance here. So let me check if I can make something like a curved belt to bring more information of the pants or not. Let me check it. Let me select this guy here, and maybe I will try to bring this part, maybe. Let me check. Of course, it's not a rule here. So let me see it. Okay, and let me move down this guy here too. So how I said you, always we need repose and pose the pieces here. So it's okay. This part here of the skirt, we need move down a little bit too. These connections here, it's okay. Let me scale a little bit this guy. Let me move up. Let me make a, let me see here. Let me make a mask. It's okay. Now I can work separated. Move up a little bit, and so I will scale it. Invert. Basically here. Let me check. I can try to work with transpose maybe. Let me see it. Scale a little bit. Rotate if I want. Let me check. Try to fit here. It's okay. Let me change this direction here a little bit. This connection maybe. Let me move in there a little bit. And I will try to find something that makes sense. So all the time I need to try to rework, work and rework. So I am working on the folds, but I saw that this part needs to be changed. So I come here and change it. This is the secret. I will rotate a little bit this guy here a little bit. This part more or less, and the holes here probably need move down a little bit. So make more sense here. Now I can try to work on this part of the belt. Maybe I could use this guy here to try to simulate this point. Maybe. Let me check. Let me duplicate that. So, well, the first thing I will try to do is let me drag my concept here, guys, and I will try to smooth a little bit this object. So I will try to use the polish. Oh, of course I need clean the mask. Polish. It's okay. I can use geometry clay polish here to bring these informations. And here, let me turn off the perspective. We have more on this visual. It's straight line and not curved up. So let me make a mask and I will try to fix this part here. Or it's not necessary, I can use 6 to move topological and try to bring down a little bit. So I'm gonna press, I will move this part here. Let me move a little bit, move up a little bit, press P. So it's a little better. If I want, I can try to bring in front a little bit this part. Maybe. Let me see, let me check. It's okay. Now I will try to duplicate this guy. Let me see here. Duplicate it. And I will hide one side view and I will try to bring it. Let me turn off the perspective. I will try to bring more or less in this part to make the connection here. So let me try to rotate to get a frontal information. So how you can see, it's important you work with a low resolution sometimes because you can reuse the meshes. Remember that, guys. So let me try to reorganize this piece here. So I think I need to make a mask on this way. Let me reset the brush, invert the mask and try to fix something like that. Let me move down a little bit in front view, side view to align. Of course, it's not the best shape, but it's okay for now. Let me select the concept here. Let me check it. Let me see the reference. So this part, it's not too intense. It's just a simple line here. So let me try to scale it. Let me check. Reset the pivot. Let me see here. It's too short. Let me check this part. We scale a little bit. So this proportion here will be a little difficult to find. So let me try to move it here. Rotate a little bit just to check it. Something like that. And here basically I can try to make a mask. Let me check. It's something like that. I don't know, we could separate this piece. Maybe we could separate it. Or let me make a mask here. And maybe we could separate it. Let me think. We can separate this part. Make it separated here. So something like that. Or of course we could make just landmarks here to check it. This landmark here. So something like that. And of course we will need move this information here. So let me invert, move up, and this part will be come here. So let me check this part. Just a test, guys. Let me invert here. So this part here, we had volume here. Let me check it. Try to keep playing at. So here, let me check it. Let me see. Something like on this information. Yes, I think we will need add something here separated to work better. So you press, you come back here. And I need to redo this information. So this part seems very simple, but it's not simple, guys. You need to keep it in your mind. But I will use the orb crack. Here we can select, let me see here, the orb, press O here, and we have a lot of informations here. This guy that we can try to make information. You can test a lot of different shapes here. For example, you can create a layer if you want to, but well, we use the orb crack only. Let me try to bring a landmark here. Let me check all this part. It's something like on this shape. So what I want here, it's kind of triangle. Here, let me try to use the high polish here. All this part, I want a triangle here. And in this connection, I can try to use the Alt to create this insinuation here. And the secret here, guys, it's work with planifications, not work a lot of zigzag information. So try to keep it very clean. I am using the high polish here, how you can see, and straight lines, not curved lines. Here I can try to planification a little bit. Here the same thing. Let me test it. Coming down here. How this part using the high polish. How you can see. Here the same thing. Here this landmark's not good for me. And the back part is not necessary for this situation, of course. If you want to work, it's okay, but for now it's not necessary. So we have this part here. This information here is not so good. This line, I don't want this line here. It's okay. Just one line. So here we will need to try to find a different workflow. So we have this line. So here maybe we will need to try to find a different line here. Something like on this way here. Can press Alt here. Or something like on this way. So make these landmarks here, and I can use the high polish here just to insinuate this information. Of course we need to destruct it then, but I'm just trying to find some landmarks. Of course that here is not symmetrical, so we need to rework on it, but how you can see we have a different shape here. And here I can use the high polish again. So let me check it's okay here. Let me see this part. So let me try to find a good visual here. Maybe this flow, we need to break it. Make something more on this visual here, more break. We need to break this and not follow the correct shape here. The exact shape here, for example. Let me try to make a simple landmark here. Just to break it. It's okay. We will need to try to work on this shape. Let me check this visual. It's masked. So it's okay for now. You're gonna try to discover a good visual for it. Let me turn on the hair here. So on this side, of course, we have something more interesting. Let me save the project. 77. And let me load the other version just to see the difference. This part. So of course will not work. So let me do this guy here. Subdue the wow. And I will load on previous version. So can be this 75. Let me check. So how you can see it's not defined. So here it's a little more clean. So little tweaks but make the difference. So let me see in frontal. So how you can see we have this visual here. It's a little better. Of course we need to rework, we need to find something that works here, the other side. But it's going. Let me see in skin shading, it's a little better. So how you can see here a little masked, but here it's more clean. So look at this design. Into and out. And this part here, it's something like into, out, and something like this square and something this part. So not at the same position, for example, on this silhouette, not good. So here it's okay, we are almost there. Let me go to the metal. Let me do this other version. Let me select this guy. It's okay, we'll do it too. Save as. And next. Oh. Let me check if it's correctly. Why my... Oh, of course I need press D. So now it's okay. Now it's okay, guys. Let me select this part here. And I will save as. I need that increase the subdivision on the skirt. So it's okay. And let me go to skin shading here. It's cool. Basic material 2. Press ask. Let me go back to the metal. And we need to try to define this part here, then this part, and it's okay. The most difficult element, it's okay. So we need to add the little details of the skirt, make the head and the hair, and finish this cap part. So is it, guys, in next video. So continuing here, guys, we're gonna turn off the symmetry. So this part I will try to keep on this way. And maybe let me press 0 to dumb standard and make maybe a landmark here, something more natural maybe. Let me try to bring this shape more natural. Here, something like this way. And here I will try to move this part, rotate a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is try to make a mask. Use the lasso here and maybe I think I can try to use the 6 maybe. Let me see. I will protect this part and let me check. No, I think I need to make a mask here on this part. Let me put white, but it will not work because I need to turn off this guy here. So I will switch color, active my pencil, press C to pick the color and switch the color, and now it turn off because now I just can switch the color to have the original color and white color here. So now I can make a mask here and I will try to rotate it. I want something like that. Let me rotate more. Something like on this way here, and let me rotate this part. Select this guy and rotate here. Let me try to fit this part. This part here too. Let me scale a little bit, something like that. Wow. Let me check here. And press 2. I want something on this way, so maybe we need bring this visual here. Well, let me check it. Let me see here. Yes, or maybe let me press Ctrl Z. I will try to make different here, guys. I will just try to fill this part here. Just using the clay brush. It's okay, so to hide this visual here, can use Dynamesh if I want. It's okay. Can smooth it. Something like that. Let me check here. We will have the limit, so I wanna something like on this way. Let me use the Orb Crack or Dumb Standard to make the cut here. Something on this way here. Let me check. I am working on this silhouette. I want something like that. And here I can try to use the inflate to bring this part more down. So it's something like that. Let me see. Let me smooth this part. And I will bring this guy here. And here. Try to work without a lot of curves. Try to work with lines something like this way. It's better. So let me see. It's okay. Let's move this part. And here let me try to make something like this part here. It's not too important here. Let me break this part here, so probably we're gonna have some landmarks like that. And something like on this way here and here. Remember the triangles. Let me play a little bit with that. Clean landmarks here. So let me try to bring this part here. This part we need fixed too. So let me check this region here. We can try to break it and make some landmark on this way here. Let me check here. So this part we need to try to find something that makes sense. Let me break this part here and try to smooth a little bit. Let me try to cut this part here. Let me see, and this part here, the same thing. Can try to bring these volumes here. Try to work very calmly and without a lot of landmarks. Remember that. Simple landmarks and is it. Let me check here. It's okay. Here we can try to play a little bit with this guy. Let me use the dumb standard just to check it. More thin. Let me check this part. Use high polish. I'm trying to follow the overall shapes here. Let me check with this. This final part, try to keep very thin. These elements. Let me see here. This part. Let me see here. More thin on this part here. Let me check here, and this part here, let me use the orb cracks to try to remove this visual here. Can use high polish here if I want. Let me check, it's okay, it's something like that. And this part here, it's a little strange, but for this situation, it's okay, guys, don't worry about that. So let me try to put something like this shape. Here we have a curve. I confess I don't like work with curves, so I will try to remove this part here. I will smooth this region. I don't work with curves. I will try to work with straight lines. So try to make these landmarks and not to curve it. Of course, in this part it's okay, but not, for example, like on yes. Let me remove this part out here. Let me check 0 bit this part. It's okay here. The same thing here. Take care about use a lot of landmarks. Remember, it's to use just a few landmarks. Let me check here and here. Dumb standard, and then I can use orb cracks to create a simple landmark here. Big draw, large draw, and you can smooth on the top and smooth on the top on this part, and use high polish here. Something like that. I can try to play with this region here if I want. But it's not necessary for this situation here. Let me try to move this guy here. Let me check. Let me see here. Well, it's okay. Let me move this line more this way without curve. I press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, and I will make a mask here. Turn off the perspective, make a mask to this guy. Same thing here. It's okay. Invert, smooth a little bit. And now I can try to move a little bit this part more inner. Well, and this part try to bring out. Let me see here. This part out a little bit. Let me make a other mask here maybe. And this part try to bring more intro the body. And this part more out. And this part here and this part here too. Let me check. It's okay. I don't know, this part here is not so good for me, but it's okay. Let me try to use a landmark like that. Or let me use the clay polish here, maybe it works. Let me check here. Press P, switch the color here, so we have this visual. I think it's a little intense, this part, I don't know, I have not enjoyed too much. Let me press Ctrl Z. But this part here, maybe. Let me see. On this way. Well, I think it's okay. Let me go to skin shading. Let him test geometry clay polish. Or press Ctrl Z and smooth 100. No, I keep 0. I don't know about these parts here. Well, it's okay. Let me smooth a little bit this part. It's okay here. Let him use high polish here. It's okay. Don't want a strong landmark here. Same thing. Not too strong. The landmarks. Let me check here. Let me see it. Just make a test. No. Yeah, let me see. Yes, this landmark here no makes sense. So let me use Dynamesh. Try to remove a little bit this part. And same thing here. So I'm trying to keep on this shape. Let me use high polish here a little bit, take care about the intensity. And let me check this part here. It's okay. It's okay for now. I think it's not necessary we add other elements here because probably we will get some problems here. So let me make some landmarks like that. Here it's okay, and here it's okay too. This part here it's okay. Yeah, Let me test it. Change a little bit this effect of cylindrical shape. So let me test here, let me see the concept. It's something like on this way. So let me try to find it. It's kinda an M. This way and this way. And here it's same thing. Let me use the clay, the orb crack, try to cut this part here and out to bring the displacement. It's kind of displacement. Here the same thing. Let me check it. In this part here, guys, let me use high polish to this part, and maybe it's not necessary. I can try to just make a simple landmark here and it's okay. Let me make the same thing here. Let me see. It's not necessarily a lot of formation here. Let me check it. Clay polish. I think it's okay. Let me move this region here a little back just to check it. Yeah, it's okay for now. Let me check this shape here, if it works or not. No. Let me bring it out a little bit out and try to smooth a little bit. It's better. Let me smooth here too. And here. Yeah. So this part, let me try to bring a volume here. It's something like that. Take care about a lot of cuts. Try to make an unique cut here and not a lot of landmarks. So let me check, or let me try to press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Try to bring an interior landmark here. I am pressing Alt and I am trying to bring this effect here. Yes, it's better on this way, and same thing here on this shape. Let me see, it's okay. I can play a little bit with that. Let me check here. Wow. I want 2 landmarks here, guys. Maybe then when we apply the zero mesh, we work better. Maybe. So let me check it. Let me check this landmark. and try to and take care about the curves. This line here, I'm not happy with this line. Let me check this part here. Press Ctrl Z. Maybe use the move brush. Well, I will keep on this way. Here is more interesting, it's not too marked, but well, it is something like that and it's not good. Let me try to use high polish here. Let me test it. Maybe it works. Maybe it works better. So let me test these guys here. Yeah, it's okay for now. It's okay. You need to fix this part here and will be cool. Let me bring the skin material here to check it and try to bring a cut here, something like that. This strong landmark here. Let me use high polish here and here in the middle too. Let me see, press Ctrl Z to see the difference. Clay polish. Well, I think it's okay. Let me go to the metal. Yeah, we need to fix this part here, but it's okay for now. Or let me press Ctrl Z. And well, it's okay for now. Let's use the 6 and bring down a little bit this part here. It's okay for now. Press 0 and create this landmark here. Well, is it guys, in next video gonna continue try to find a good fault and good flow for this part. See you in the next video. Hey guys, so continuing here, let me switch to the let me see, sketch shade 4 can be the 3 if you want. It's more something more interesting. Maybe let me switch to the sketch shade that the 2. Let me change to the skin shade. It's just some little tweaks here. Yeah, let me check and let me use the plastic and I will use the shade 4. And here I have created a mask, just a mask here for the cloth. And here guys, I was searching for nursing on cloth. Here, let me open just to show you, and we can search for, let me see here, cloth folds. Let me see, texture. Here it's a good way, sculpting. Of course, we have a lot of, let me put reference. We have a lot of information, and of course it's depend of the material and about the style, it's realistic or not. So you can use something like that. And here, for example, I was looking to this part. Of course, it's more realistic. It's in Marvelous. You can use Marvelous for it if you want to, but I not recommend because it's this project that we are working. It's something more stylized. And it's not a realistic thing. So the physical, it's not necessary to be very realistic. So, but just to explain, for example, we have a fixed point, for example, in this way, and here we have the folds. Just an example here. So a fixed part, and we have the folds here. So it's a good way to you observe and try to make similar things. So we have, for example, a fixed point and the folds here in triangle, for example. Here come on this way, here the same thing, here. So try to work with reference, of course. Here in the ArtStation, I searched by Num, and we have this concept. Let me see here. This one is not useful. Let me see. It's always important to see the 3D reference. Here we have a 3D version from our concept, of course, for other artists. Here we have the original concept. Let me check. This one, it's more realistic. It's very cool. So here, this part, it's similar with the arm cloth that we need to do. So how you can see this part here is very cool. Maybe you can use it as a reference, or maybe make it different if you want. Here we have this version. It's an other interpretation. It's something more cartoon. It's cool too. We can try to apply these elements here. Of course, not like that, but try to bring this effect. Here it's something more cartoon. It's cool. Here more realistic, so it's not useful for us. Here it's more clean. So it's important you use reference, of course. Here we have a beautiful version of the Num, way long. You can use it as a reference too. Always working with reference, guys. Here we have other reference of our character, and how you can see each artist has your own interpretation. So it's not absolutely exactly something that you need to do, and it's it. So, well, try to work with reference about the clothes. Here we have the other version. Here it's cool too. Here more for a game, a different version. Here it's cool. So let me see here how you can see it's more realistic. So we have this a fixed point and going out. Here of course it's a little exaggerated, but we have the triangles, these parts. So remember a fixed point and going out. So for example this part, it's very cool. Well guys, here I will try to bring some landmarks here, and we can try to make something like let me check, something like this way. Let me press ask here, Control N. What happened here? Cancel. I think I have activated other things, so it's okay. Press Ctrl Z. Let me check. Let me see here. My mask, it's okay. So what I will try to do here, it's something like that, and I will try to use the pinch here because I wanna fold. I wanna fold something. We have a plane here. Basically, we have a volume, and I wanna make this volume like that. Two planes. So is it that I will try to do? Can use the move if I want. Invert it and try to smooth this part to make part here. It's a little intense. Maybe it's too much. I press Ctrl Z, and I will press Ctrl to smooth a little bit this landmark, and now I use pinch again. Let me see here. I can smooth this part, use high polish here. Just a simple landmark here. Can use Orb Crack to create a landmark here too. High polish again. So I like to use this material because we can see these landmarks. So let me see this part here. It's kind of V, and here we have a curve. So of course this part here, it's kind of a V, and here a V, and we have a curve here. So let me try to break this visual here, and it's all together, this part here, and it's something like that. So I need try to increase this part. Let me press 6, maybe on this way here, and this volume maybe on this way here. So let me check it. So this part, let me try to break it and try to bring a V effect here. So what I'm gonna do here is try to high polish this point. So in front view, basically I have this effect here and something like that. So what I want it delete it, use the high polish, it's something like that and that. So without this effect here. So it's kind of something like come here, here, and out, and not something like come back. So this is effect that I want. So here it's more V, it's a V information. So let me try to high polish this part here and test it. Well, will not work so well. So let me smooth a little bit this part and try to make some cuts using the DAM standard. Too much here. And press Ctrl Z. I don't want a lot of landmarks here, so I will try to use the high polish here. It's kinda a triangle here, so let me use it. Triangle here, it's okay, and here let me smooth a little bit, and it's okay here. Let me smooth a little some parts here. Let me check. Let me use the skin shading. Let me try to play a little bit with these parts. It's It's okay. You can hide these landmarks. And here same thing. So on this part here, let me try to use the RB crack here in this angle, so I can smooth the top part here. So we have more this angle here. And I confess you, I think it's okay for now. Remember a fixed point, and we can try to bring from this point here. Let me try to find a fixed point here too. I'm using the high polish here because I don't want something very realistic. So let me try to bring some effect here a little bit more on this way. Not enjoy it. I press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Sometimes you see better, you can use the skin shading. So let me see. So it's okay. And I confess you, I think it's okay for now. And now we can try to create this effect here. We can add a cylinder here, I think. And basically this part here, for example, we could try to paint. Let me select add a color here. So this part more or less more dark, for example. More black color here, color, fill object, invert and color. Let me invert and smooth a little bit. And now we can invert and color, fill object, intensity 100. It's okay. Wow, it's gray, and I don't want gray. I want something more dark. It's a little better. The same thing I will do with that. Let me bring here and smooth. Color, fill object. Let me invert. Color, fill object. It's kinda ambient occlusion, so let me make different. I will use the color mask lasso, and I can try to make something more like a triangle here. And of course we had fill polygons, so will not work too good. Let me invert and try to fill object. Too intense. Let me make different here. Smooth, it's okay. The intensity and fill object. Too intense. Let me select this part here. Of course, it's not perfectly here. Let me press Ctrl Z and invert and try to smooth it. And now I will apply the color. Fill object. It's a little better. So it's okay. Just to get it's kind of ambient occlusion, so you can see the difference. Let me show you the difference here. For example, here we can isolate it. So look the difference. It's cool. And here, guys, it's a good a good moment to play a little bit. Of course, I can come back to this shade here. I will save again. Enjoy the process, please, come on. Then we can redo these landmarks of colors, don't worry about that. And I confess to you, I don't know, it's a lot of landmarks here, maybe. So, well, let me turn off the Dynamesh. Let me test something like that. It's too intense. Let me go to skin shading, it's a little better. Well, and the paints and this part here, for example, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So where are the pants? It's here. Let me try to merge with that. It's here. This part here. This and this. Basically the pants come until here. So what I will try to do is add a cylinder here and make these elements here, this part here. I will try to do that. So I can turn off the perspective and I can try to extract it or work a cylinder. I will try to use this guy here. Let me check it. Something like that, on this way, more or less. I will extract it, so don't worry about that. And I can go in subtool, extract it. It's too much, let me put 0.01. Can be, except all. And let me press Shift F, deal hiding, auto groups. So I will hide this one and deal hiding again. And I can work with zero mesher here. Something like that. Well. And I can refine it. So let me save it. 78. So how you can see, these little parts take time, guys, and is it. Of course, I could use a cylinder here and make the same thing. So I decided to do on this I decided to work with this workflow. So basically here I need remove these edges here, but it's okay. We're gonna continue in the next video. Let me save again. I have this program to check if I've saved or not, but I prefer save it 2, 3, 4, 5 times than no save it. So is it, guys? See you in the next video. We're gonna continue, and our challenge it's finish this part, because then the head it's in the hair. Of course, it's not easy, for example, but it's okay for us, because if we have all this part of the body and the clothes finish at the head and the hair, it's okay. And we're gonna see the sword, the process, how it was created, and will be like an exercise to you make the sword. So see you guys until see you in the next video, guys. Any question, any suggestion, any doubt about anything about the course, if you have some problem, please tell me, contact me by Instagram, Gmail, or send me a message. Will be a pleasure help you in your journey. So see you guys in the next video. Hey guys, so continue our project. Here I will change my material and I will use the sketch shading 4. I don't know, I like this material sometimes because I can see the cavity and this this blend, it's kind of something like blend, and it's not solid color, for example, here. So it's good to work, and it's better to the character. So for example, here we have a solid color. For example, I can use the flat. Basically, I have this effect of because of the, let me see here, the flat color. Let me turn off this part here. So basically it's because the light, the canvas. So let me see here. I don't have nothing about color. Well, something because the light. Let me change here to this material. Yeah. So let me check here. It's okay. Let's see on this way. It's cool too. Let me see. Yeah. So let me go back to the sketch 4. Let me put the light here. Why the light? It's strange. So I have clicked at 2 times here to come back to the front. So let me go to flat. Yeah. And I will select we had the frame and all these other materials, but we work with sketch shade for this first moment. And here, guys, we had this part where I have cleaned. So basically I remove edges here, and we're gonna try to build this part here. This part, guys, basically make part of the paint, so it's a unique piece here. So we need to try to make something like that. Let me see, something like that. So let me try to fix this point. And this part in the middle, basically, it's kind of similar with the belt. So we have a hide part here, and this part showing in front. So here it's the same thing. For example, this part it's in front here, and we have the other part hide and a cut here. So is it that we're gonna try to do? Let me remove this loop, and here we'll try to move this point. Let me use the move brush here. It's okay. Then we're gonna try to fix the silhouette. So let me check here. So it's something like that. It's grab here. It's holding this part. So sometimes I work on this way very calmly, so it's okay for now. And what I'm gonna do is make a mask. Let me turn off the perspective, make a mask here, invert it, and try to align it using the transpose and scaling in this part, and move down. It's okay here. Now what I'm gonna try to do, it use a bevel here. I can use a bevel. Let me press Alt-R in bevel. And now I will delete this polygon. Turn off the symmetry. And what I'm gonna do, it's put this part under this part and this part up. So let me test, of course. So let me press Y and or Karnak to use the hotkeys, of course. Of course, guys. So let me bring here our Karnak. It's okay. Let me focus on this part here. So it's okay. And let me test something like something like that, and this part here more or less on this way maybe. So it's okay, something like that. Let me see, this part, it's in the middle. Yeah, more or less on the middle. So let me see it. This part need to come here. So let me make a mask here. Turn off the floor and move in front, more or less on the middle here. And now we had this landmark and the other part come down here in this direction. So let me check it. I think I can move it to the side a little bit more. And here, wow. Let me check here. I can try to select this part and move in front a little bit. Here more or less. Just to have an overall idea. Let me see. So what I'm gonna do is add a loop here to mark this part. So press Alt-R, insert more or less here. Let me check. Maybe it's too much. Let me use the slide. Oops, this slide. Slide here. Slide edge loop complete. Something like that, maybe. I think it's okay here. And now we're gonna add other loop to make this cut here. So let me check. Basically, we have, let me insert, go to insert. Basically, we had this part here and here. So here we're gonna use the insert, the inset, and delete this part. So let me check here first. So let me select this part, and I wanna move down, move side a little bit more. Just a little bit more on this way, more or less. And here we had the landmark. So for example, I can try to use the bevel here. More or less on this way. Press Shift F just to check. I think it's too much here. It's just a little landmark. Yes, something like that. It's okay. And here we had the same thing. So let me maybe make the bevel here, but then I will try to extrude just this part here, not this part. And here I need to make the cut. So let me see this part here. Let me add the other loop here, insert here, because this part come until here, so it's something like until this point. And now guys, I will try to use the bevel here, or let me check. I need something like that. So let me use the bevel here, something like that. Here I need other insert. Well, let me check what's happening here. It's okay here. Yeah. So now I can try to delete these guys here. Let me go to delete. 1, 2, 3. Maybe it's okay. So now let me try to this part. It's kind of here. Let me try to maybe I wanna make a simple extrude here. Let me test inner. Let me select the poly group. All. Of course, what I will do first is extrude all polygons to have a thickness here. Let me check here. I can try to extrude into. Let me go to display properties and turn off the double, so I know that my normals it's flipped, so I need to use the flip to fix it. Let me check this part here. I think this part is too big, this element here. This part, maybe until here it's good. So let me make a mask here, I think can be. Let me test use this light. Well, will work, but not so good. So let me make a mask here and try to move, turn off the perspective, try to move more or less on this way. Something like on this way. Yeah. Something like that. Let me see. I will put a bottom here. It's okay. Let me try to use. Let me go in append subtool. Append. I can use can be a cylinder. Let me select the cylinder here. Wow, it's too much. Let me deal with first, and I will clean it. Let me select the cylinder here. Initialize egg divide. I can put 6. No, we'll put 8. And here in v divide 0, the 4, it's the minimal, so it's basically it's 0. Let me see its port. It's okay. It's okay. So I can press make polymesh 3D. And for now it's okay. So let me select this part here. Let me pick this color. Press 2 to move because I don't want to use the Z modeler now because I can make some mistake. So I try to avoid it always. Let me press F, and I go to color, fill object here to apply this color. So you come back here and subtool append this guy here. Let me rotate it. I can rotate and press shift. So now I will select 90 degree. And let me try to scale it more or less on this way here. Let me see it. Let me try to pose. So these little parts, guys, take time. And for example, the brush to this, a lot of subtools, it's not so good. But of course, to make these things, it's amazing how the Z modeler and used grease and polygroups work. So it's very, very cool. But to manage the names and subtools, it's not so good. So let me try to make something like that. Let me see on this part more or less. I don't know, let me select this part again, press Ctrl Z, so now I think it's better on this way, yes. So let me select this guy again. Control D just to test it. Control D, Control D. Let me go to geometry for it's okay. So let me select the basic. Can press 7 to high polish if I want. It's okay here. Let me use the high polish more strong a little bit. It's okay, and let me put more or less on this way here. Let me press P. I think it's a little big. Let me scale it a little bit. Let me see, it's okay. So now you try to bring this this effect of that makes sense. So let me try to move this part, and here you try to move the side a little bit. Let me make this color, pick the color. It's okay. So now I will try to work on it again. All this part here I can hide. Let me invert, and I can try to use the move brush here. This part. So let me hide this part here. This part here is not necessary, because this part it's kinda connect with the paint. This part no exist. So it's okay for now. So let me come back to this guy here. It's okay, so now we need to try to give a good visual for it. Let me see on this part. I don't know, maybe I need to move more this part here, guys. Let me see. Maybe I need to move more to the side this part. Let me invert. Try to move more to this point. Not in the middle, and something like that. So when I use on this side, it's okay, maybe. Turn off the perspective. Let me try to put more or less on this way. And this part here more or less. So it's okay, let me turn on the perspective, it's okay. Now I will try to bring this effect. So here, probably I can't use decrease, so let me think this effect here. Now I can use the extrude, polygroup out, so I can extrude it. So this part here, let me see. We have this point, so I need change this guy here. So let me select this point, and this guy here, let me hide this part, turn off the perspective, hide this part, turn on the double. Well. Let me invert it. Let me hide this part and hide this part. It's okay for now. Hide these elements. Let me try to hide these points. Control Shift Alt. So now it's okay. Can press Control W. Now I can try to extrude this part here. So yeah, we have something here. And we need this effect here too. This is the question. So let me try to hide. Let me extrude just the polygon, single poly here. So we have this part here. Well, it's not the best visual, but it's working. So here it's a little strange, guys, because for example, we have this part and this part, it's all together, so no make sense, but it's okay. What I can try to do here, let me press Ctrl G just to check it, for example. So it's cool. We will need try to fix it. Press Ctrl Z. So what I can do here, it's try to add an insert loop here. Press Ctrl D, it's okay. And here the same thing. Can try to press Ctrl D. Here, I think, let me press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. I will add here, I insert, and now I will use an extrude. Let me use the extrude. So let me see. Now I can try to add adds more or less on this way. So let me check here. Speed, perspective, it's okay. So now we need to try to increase it. I think maybe if we make a selection here and try to inflate these parts. So let me press Ctrl Z. Let me add a loop here, maybe will make more sense here. And maybe this part we need make different. Let me go to sketch 4. It's okay. Basic material. I think we need more contrast here. So basically I need to make a more strong extrude. So I need return until this part here. Let me check this part. Let me see, extrude, polygroup all until here more or less. Let me add a loop here, other loop here, and here and the middle here, and here. So now here I can use the extrude as single poly, strong single poly, and add a loop here on this way, and same thing here. So Let me test. It's okay, it's better. And now in next video we need to fix it, but make more sense. So is it, guys? In next video gonna continue to try to fix this part here. See you in the next video. And continue here, guys. Just let me see this little guy here. Well, let me try to use the inflate here, the formation inflate, maybe inflate balloon. Let me put one just to test, because it's a little flat. Okay. And here, I think, let me bring the reference here. I think we can make some deformation here. So let me add insert. Let me insert a loop here. Try to bring a little of deformation. So let me press Ctrl and select the lasso. So let me move down the pure reference and select the lasso. Let me try to select this part. Let me invert. Let me see here. Maybe move a little bit to this part. Let me play a little bit, of course. And let me see in geometry. It's okay. No, I wanna Control D. Control D, Control D. It's okay. So let me press Control Z, Control Z. And Control D, Control D. Let me test this part here. Maybe a straight line or not. I think this way it's good. Let me test without this part here. Control D, Control D, Control D. Yeah. No, I think it's better on this way. So let me press Control Z, Control Z. Let me add a loop here. Insert. And here too. And here. So now Control D, Control D. We have this effect. It's better. 5. Here, guys, we can test, use the inflate balloon maybe if you want. Let me press Ctrl Z and I use inflate balloon 1 just to check. So let me see here. Yeah. Let me check this part. If I want, I can press 1 standard and try to create some deformation here to create a more natural aspect here. So here's something like that. Let me check this aspect here, more like a cloth here. And here I can try to remove this aspect here, the same thing. Let me use the inflate brush if I want to the border, or I can use the standard brush if I want to. Here the same thing, this way here. Let me check to this part here. Let me see. the border. Let me test here just to have a better visual here. Something like that, maybe. And of course, let me turn off the perspective. I can play a little bit with the shape here if I want. Let me select this part here, invert it, and I can smooth this part a little bit and try to make a good connection here. Something like that. This way here. We will need to try to increase a lot these parts. Let me use the geometry and clay polish. Let me test. Sorry, not dynamic clay polish. Press Ctrl Z and try to smooth. I don't know why I have these colors here. So let me see here, subtool, color off. So now it's okay. So basically I will try to use DOM standard and make this volume connection here. It's something like that. Just to insinuate this part. Let me test, of course. And here, this part here need to be in front. So let me try to move something like that. Let me test here more in front. Let me try to remove a little bit this part and try to bring this effect here. I'll turn on the perspective. Let me check. This part is not so good. Let me pick the color here and pick this color. Let me see. It's the same because this part and this part, they are the same. So it's okay. Let me check here. It's okay. Let me go to color fill. So I need to try to find something harmonic to these guys. Fill object. So let me check. Maybe this part here more close. Maybe. Let me check here. Let me see. No. Let me check. I think we need to rework on this part here. Let me press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. It's okay. Let me use the DOM standard here. And try to bring this aspect here. Same thing here. Because basically we need to make a connection here. So let me test it. So it's on this way. Let me clean the mask here and try to bring something that makes sense. So something like this way here. It's falling. Let me see. It's a little better. Maybe this part here need to be more in front, but I want something that makes sense. It's something more natural. So let me try to make a V visual here. So let me see this landmark. Yes, maybe something like that. And this part here, for example, this piece need to be cut on this way more or less. So here the landmark, for example, need to be more inflated on this part here. Now I can try to use the high polish. It's not exactly roll here, guys. I'm trying to create a silhouette in the side view and in the side view, and that makes sense here. For example, try to make a V. Let me move this part here, maybe something like that. And here we have this effect. Oh, wow. I don't know, I'm not happy with this effect here. So let me make something more exaggerated. Something like that. Let me test it. So it's okay here. And here. Let me try to put more in, to close, and try to make a good visual here. Maybe I can try to put this cut. We have a triangle here. Maybe I need to try to make the same thing here. So let me select this guy and try to put a cut here too, following this flow. So this part, it's something that you need to try to make something that makes sense. So maybe here I can try to pull it in front a little bit. Let me test this landmark here, because I will need to use the zero mesh, so we will have this problem. And this guy here, I need to make something more. Press Ctrl D, something like Ctrl D. Then press Ctrl Z. I will add a insert loop here and here. Ctrl D. It's okay. Let me scale it a little bit. Something like that. Let me check a little bit. It's on this way. Let me move a little bit here. Let me try to make more curved. So more to this side, maybe. Little details, guys. These little details. So it's okay. Maybe the color it's not helping us, but here because I am using Dynamesh and here it's not with Dynamesh, so maybe will work better then. So let me select this part and try to make a mask here. Try to open the bottom part here. So let me test, of course. Try to make something like that. So you can see something like on this way. Let me try to move up, maybe. Yes. It's cool. Yeah. Let me see. It's okay. Turn off perspective here. Let me change the light to in front. I think it's okay for this part. Here, let me move this part. Let me make a mask here. I'll turn off perspective, select the lasso. Try to make this movement here. This movement. It's okay. Let me try to move from this way. Oops, is move this part and try to move, or invert and try to bring in front this part. So let me use dumb standard to break and add this space here. So it's okay. Let me try to find something interesting. Let me see, maybe put something like landmark here just to test it. Let me see. Let me check. It's a little strange yet, but well, I feel it works. So I press this way. No. So let me try to make a cut on this part here. Dynamesh. And here. Something like that. This way. Will not work. Well, maybe will work. So let me use the geometry. Clay polish, maybe. It's soft. Let me put 30. Yeah. It's okay. These parts coming to this way is not good, so we need to try to cut it. This part, for example, it's coming here. We need to try to find a cut here, more or less, to this direction. This part is not good. This flow is not good. So let me try to hide it. Let me smooth. It's better. Not curve, for example, coming on this way. For this situation, of course, it's better planification because it's a stylized cartoon. Stylized character. So try to make something more on this way. Let me see on this part here, it's cool. Of course I need to use the Z, redo this part, but it's good. It's done, this part, so we're gonna work on the zero measure on this part and try to fix. So let me put 79. It's save, not load. It's 80. And it's okay. This little detail, it's a little boring. Maybe we need to try to bring more volume to this part here. Something more on this way. Let me test it. For example, let me try to make something like that. Let me test, just a little test here. Yeah, something like on this way. Let me turn off perspective and I will try to make something like that. This way. And invert it. And try to inflate that. Then press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. We use topological brush. Let me check here. Let me see it. Let me see this part. Try to align a little bit. This part coming to this side here. Something on this way here. So it's basically on this shape here. Let me try to use high polish here. Dynamesh. I'm testing, guys, testing. Playing a little bit with the forms. Try to hide this part here. So we have a better visual here, maybe. Yes, this curve is not good here. So let me see. Yes, I think it's not necessary for now. Then we're gonna fix it. But this part here, this direction. But well, it's better than before. So let me load this version. Just to compare it. So let me do this one, the wow, and I will load a previous version. So let me load the 676. Let me check here, it's okay. Maybe this part here, it's cool. Let me check. No, this one, it's better. Of course, we have this part a little curved here and here not. So maybe we can try to move up this part. Maybe. Let me test. I will select this guy here. I will hide. I will select this one and rename it to Cinto 5 belt. It's Cinto, its name in Brazil. So let me go to append. and I will select this guy here. And this part here, I will make the same thing. I will hide, put holes, and I will select this part here, repose it, and I will append these guys here. And I will come back here so we can see the difference here. Let me see. With this guy here, I can merge it all and move up, move up, move up, move up, and see the difference here. It's a lot of subtools. So here we can see the difference here. For example, this one. I don't know, I confess I have enjoyed this one. So is it, guys? See you in the next video where we're gonna continue. And well, guys, continuing here, just the concept, we have this direction here. So if you want, you can put something more use the high polish here, but for my character I will not do that. So just here, for example, if you want, we can try to use the high polish here just to test, of course. Make a test to get a high polish landmark. So how you can see, let me see the difference here. So from this to this. So let me check here. It's kind of highlight line when we use the high polish here. So I will not use that. Let me just check it. So now I will keep on this way. So here, guys, in this part, we can use this other reference, 3D reference. And how you can see, basically these parts are more smooth, just a landmark here. And here it's on this way, for example, triangle. We're gonna try to bring something like that. This part, it's more large, but for my character, I will use this one. Here I can use the standard brush, press Alt here, more or less in the middle, then use the standard brush just to get this deformation here a little bit. Let me see, geometry 5, it's okay. Let me play a little bit with that on this way. So how you can see, we had this landmark. Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. You can use the layer if you want, but for this situation is not necessary. And if I want, I can mark more using the DAM standard. And I am making symmetrical here, so if you want, you can make it asymmetrical. So here, for example, I will keep it symmetrical. So you're gonna press Ctrl Z, because I just want a simple landmark here. I can use the the clay polish here, just to get this stylized visual, just a little landmark. And this part, if we want, we can use, let me press Ctrl R, let me check if the X mirror is activated. So let me open the Karnak, or friend Karnak, to see the hotkeys, of course, guys. Screen to. I am using a notebook. Here I'm not happy because I have a big screen here and a notebook, so I recommend you buy 2 screens or use a big screen. It's very, very helpful. Well, continuing here, I will add a loop here to get a not too smashed result. I want something more cylindrical. Let me add here a loop and let me test. So it's a little better. So let me press Ctrl Z and I will add on this way too. Ctrl D for. Let me check this result. It's cool. Maybe I can inflate it, guys, using deformation, and I can use inflate balloon if I want. Or just inflate. What I recommend you to do is press Ctrl Z, keeping the without subdivisions, and now you can inflate it to change the thickness. And now I can press Ctrl D. Let me see, maybe 4 or 5 it's okay, 5 it's okay. And here if I want to play a little bit, I can use the standard brush and make some landmark. I think is not necessary. I do this. Let me see here. I do this effect here. I don't want this effect. So here I can use standard to create this landmark. Just this landmark here. Let me check to bring a contrast here. Try to use them standard and out to create this simulation. So we get this visual. If I want, I can use clay polish here too. So simple. Then during the retopology or something like that, if you want to change, you can make this change. Here I could extrude or make a different loop if I want, but I think it's not necessary. Let me check it. Yes, it's not necessary here. Let me smooth a little bit and use the high polish and increase at the subdivision, and it's okay. It's okay. Here the same thing if I want, but it's not necessary for this situation. So here, guys, we are using Dynamesh. Let me test. Let me see. I can try to use them standard to create just a landmarks here. And this part, how you can see, we have this line, and here it's kind of high polish. It's not just unlined. So what I'm gonna try to do here, it's press Alt to them using them standard and make this effect. So I have this flow here, and now I use high polish in the middle to create its kind of how here. So I can smooth and try to create a how. And we don't have this high line here. I can smooth it a little bit just to create this information. So these techniques are very, very good. So here I can create a landmark more intense. Here another, just to create this visual here. Too much. Let me press Ctrl Z. Something like on this way, I think it's okay. Something like that. Let me check. I can press Alt and try to find a visual. It's okay. Here I use Dynamesh, but I think I need to use 128. Use Dynamesh here. Let me see if it's working or not. Seems that it's not working, but it's okay. And here I will try to bring something more interesting. So here, let me turn off the RGB. And these parts, they are not too intense. So this part here, I will try to bring this shape. So here we have this one and this one. So here it's a triangle. I don't want it. I want something more harmonic. So I will try to bring these lines on this way. So let me check. And I can try to use high polish here. Let me test it. And here I will divide this line. So how you can see, I'm trying to find a line. So to this way. And here I will try to break a little bit this planing. It's something more smooth. Here we need to try to find a good visual to these parts here, so it's something more on this way. So we will try to remove these curves here. And remember, this part, it's more cylindrical and not just a line. So let me try to increase it. And guys, it's not, for example, exactly copy from this way. So I am just using to have an overall idea, not to mark it here. So let me try to find a good visual to this part. Let me smooth inner and try to fix these parts, something that makes sense. Maybe it's too depth. What I can try to do it, let me see. Maybe it's use the polish to poly a little bit, and I will try to define these parts here. So for example, I can just use the standard brush to create these landmarks and try to reorganize these parts. Let me check. Something like that. So how you can see, I am using move, standard brush, and smooth. Here. Let me check here. This part here in the middle, I can try to remove. This part's more close, it's too big. So I am thinking that the center, it's something like that. This point, making a triangle and make something more harmonic. This volume here, maybe it's not necessary, so we'll try to remove here. Remember, I can use the high polish, the Dynamesh again when I want. Here it's same thing from this point. Here I can smooth. Here it's same thing. Let me check here. So it's on this shape. So I'm trying to find something that makes sense. It's okay here. Let me try to find something that it's okay. Let me break a little these divisions. Maybe it's too much, so I can try to reduce for 48. And now I can use the polish if I want, for example. Let me check it. And I can smooth the inner part to try to remove this region. Let me check it. Now I can press Ctrl D just to check. Let me change the material here, skin shading. So I think the contrast will be not good. So let me go back. Let me see here. On this way. And we need to put these landmarks until this part. So let me select the standard brush, Alt, and I will move until this region here. Something like that to get this connection. Remember that. So until here. And here, of course. So until this point. Let me check here. Same thing, I wanna enter this part. Here the same thing. This part here. Let me hide the hair. Where you are, my friend? Here. Oops, here. It's okay. Here the same thing. So we can try to move it a little bit more close. Here the same thing. Here too. Let me change this part now. Move brush. So let me try to increase a little bit this part. Try to align this part, not to zigzag. So very, very clean. And work very calmly, guys. So on this point here, more or less here on this way, I'm trying to keep more in these lines. Let me check here. Let me see it. I can use high polish here just to test and try to clean this visual here. Here I can try to use the DAM standard to create a more strong landmark here. If I want, of course. Let me check. And use the geometry clay polish. Let me see. Yeah, it's not best, but let me sketch. I think this part is not necessary, this landmark, so we use clay polish now. Maybe move down a little bit, and this part try to bring. Let me see the reference. The reference we don't have. We have something more on this way. And these parts, they aren't too up. It's something more on this way. On this way. Let me check. Let me add the hair. Perspective. Basic material. Let me check it. Let me see here. Maybe this player press 0 and try to bring this visual here. I can use the orbit crack here and try to create a volume, create a little of contrast, nuance. Let me see here. Try to use this volume here more. Do this way here. Try to apply the physical a little bit. This way, and here something more on this landmark here, guys, something like that. I am trying to make this draw here. So let me try to move to this aspect. Let me see here. Can use high polish to create a, it's kinda border here a little bit. Let me see if it will work or not. Let me create a landmark here a little bit. Not continue. Just a landmark here. Let me see this part. Maybe here I can use high polish. Be more on this way here. Let me test. Try to keep the lines on this way. Let me see. It's a little better. Let me create the little landmarks. Let me see here. The connection here. This way. Let me try to move a little bit to the side. And wow. Let me go to sketch 4. Wow. This side. Well, I think it's okay, guys. It's cool. The visual, the silhouette. Let me go to basic material. Let me save. And I will try to load the other version. Maybe this part here. Maybe we can try to bring more. Just let me check it. this silhouette. No, it's good on this way. Maybe these parts here, it's a little more, try to more on this shape. No, it's okay for me. Let me try to inflate a little bit this part. I think it's a little flat, this part. Let me see here. Let me check. Press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z to see the diaphragms. So are little tweaks here, guys. Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Let me see inside. It's okay. This way here. Maybe this part can come here. Yeah, I think this flow it's better. So let me save again. Always saving. And I think is it, guys. In next video we're gonna continue. So see you in next video.